How you doing? So earlier on I made a video that it seems that YouTube or Facebook rather has removed for no good reason. They're trying to interfere with my publications, I would say, because of what I'm saying. In this video I want to expose corruption, and that is that Leo Varadkar has openly said on television that he believes that it is the position of the government to convince people to remove the woman from the Constitution. That's not the case. No. It is not the position of the government to oppose the Constitution. It is the position of the government to uphold the Constitution. Now, they claim that there was a referendum suggesting the removal of the woman from the Constitution. Why would anybody want to do that? Secondly, the fact that the woman wasn't removed from the Constitution implies that any of the provisions given the woman by the Constitution must be implemented by the government. Now, if you have a government that thinks the woman should be removed from the Constitution and it's their duty to see that done, how do you expect that that government are going to implement the provisions it designed by that part of the Constitution for the woman? Do you think that they're going to actually give the woman her rights and implement them if they want her removed? And do the people that voted to keep the woman in the Constitution, which, by the way, well done, because you were successful, and it's good that you were, do they think that that government are going to implement the rights of the woman that are given as a result of her inclusion in the Constitution? This government have openly said that they oppose the woman in the Constitution. Leo Varadkar specifically. Whilst he said the people weren't wrong in what they voted when they voted to keep the woman in. So who's mandating this government with the removal of the woman from the Constitution? Because it's not the people. And it never was. So who are they getting this mandate from? The devil? Well, who else? So there you have Leo Varadkar admitting that he opposes women in the Constitution and therefore all of the rights that they're given. Because you can't remove them from the Constitution and give them rights in the same way under the same section, which, by the way, is the family unit. So the family unit is in the Constitution and the woman is under the family in the Constitution, and it says this in the Constitution under the family. This government, which includes Leo Varadkar and anyone else he implies should be trying to remove the woman from the Constitution, who also works in government, it is their responsibility to uphold gainful employment. It is their responsibility to implement that which preserves the woman in the family. And it says this under the family in the Irish Constitution, which is still active even though they have tried to have it removed. And that is, the government, Leo Varadkar and co., must endeavour to ensure that it never be as a result of economic necessity that the woman leaves the house to go to work. That's what people were voting for last week. Whether to keep the woman in or to remove her from that part of the Constitution. The people voted to keep her in. But I ask you, which, by the way, well done again, what is the benefit of having the woman in the Constitution under the family if this government feels they have no responsibility to carry out that which is under that section of the Constitution, but instead oppose it and have it removed? So clearly Leo Varadkar is rogue. He doesn't care for the Constitution of Ireland and fights against it instead of implementing it. He has admitted that. and has made the claim that it is also the responsibility of the government in general to have the woman removed from the Constitution. So, how, I ask you, can you expect that this government, who openly defies their brief of office on TV, how do you expect that they're going to implement the rights of the woman, given that the woman has been kept in the Constitution of Ireland? Are you getting what I'm saying to you? It's the government's job to do whatever the Constitution tells them to do. They're saying it's their job to go against it and to lead the people against it as well. You should be put in prison for that. That's barefaced lie. So if they believe that that's their position, they're criminals. Because they're not ill-informed. Criminals. This government is full of criminals. Freemasonic cabal members who favour satanic rhetoric over the constitution of the land, who favour immorality over good morality, who favour division over the common good, and have told you openly on TV, we are supposed to take the woman out of the Constitution. But you're not wrong for keeping her in there. So they're openly saying that we're wrong and we're coming to remove the woman from the Constitution then. That's what we can deduce. Because if the people aren't wrong and they're opposing what the people voted, then they're wrong, yeah? Or is everybody wrong? So the people voted to keep the woman in the Constitution, but I'm saying to the people, what is the point of having her in the Constitution if you don't know what the benefits of having her in the Constitution are? And what's the point of having the benefits in the Constitution, the provisions and protections written into the Constitution, if you're not going to hold your government accountable to their implementation, to doing them? What's the point? What's the point of having them if the government won't do them and are openly so barefaced and blatantly corrupt that they'll say that actually it's our job to oppose the people on this, to oppose even the Constitution on this? That's jail time stuff. That's treason and sedition. It's an attempted overthrow of this current government. It's an open admission that they are opposing the Constitution of Ireland. And they believe that it is their job. They didn't say they believe it was their job. They believe it is their job. Well, who's given them that job, if not the people of Ireland? So it is the mandate of this government to implement gainful employment under the family to do with the woman who has been kept in the Constitution, and therefore all of the rights and provisions, protections on the family that exist through the woman's positioning in the Constitution must be upheld by this government. So I say again to the people, well done for your vote. Now hold your government accountable to it. Know what you were keeping the woman in for. What did we keep her in for? What did this government have to do because we kept her in? What aren't they doing that they should be doing because we kept her in? And what they should have been doing in the first place instead of trying to take her out? Well, it is this, and I'll repeat it. The government must, M-U-S-T. May? No, must. Might? No, must. If at all convenient? No, must. When easy? No, must. The government, this is what it says, the government must endeavour to ensure that it never be as a result of economic necessity that a woman leaves the house and goes to work. Why? Because our ancestors prioritised the mother-child relationship as being fundamental to a well-functioning society. Because we recognise that the mother, the mammy, is absolutely vital to the home, which is the place of the family. So if you don't position the mother correctly and facilitate her financially in that role, you don't value it. And Leo Varadkar is telling you he doesn't value it. And he also believes that this government shouldn't value it and should fight against it. Openly on TV. Can it be both? Can he be the one whose responsibility it is to implement the Constitution and the one whose responsibility it is to oppose it? No. The one who's positioned to uphold the Constitution submits to it and implements it. Or he doesn't have the job. He's an imposter. So Leo Varadkar is self-confessed imposter and claims that there are others in government who have the same position. He didn't mention any names. He said this government, it's the job of the government. No, it isn't. Who told you that? Is he mixing up maybe lodge meetings now with government meetings? Are there so many Freemasons in there that he's forgetting whether he's in Freemasonry or in his job as Prime Minister or wherever he is now? No. Freemasonic rhetoric and agenda is not Irish governmental agenda. Don't make that mistake. The people have spoken. But I'm encouraging the people to understand what they've said. By keeping the mother in this